Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Punch It Chewie Podcast. I'm Arakel.
And I'm Isabella.
Yes, and we're excited to be back. We got a lot to talk about, a lot to dive into.
Yeah.
We started the book club this week.
Yay!
Or this past week, so we just we're here to review the first 5 chapters of Shadows of the Empire.
Yes.
So we're excited for that. We got a bunch of funny clips, but a bunch of just... You know how we roll, the fucking random ass topics, and just a fun time. So we're very, very excited for this week's episode. Also, really quick, a couple of announcements, and we kind of forgot to mention this past couple of episodes. We totally forgot to tell you guys that we were going to do Long Beach Comic Con.
Yes.
So if you came to that, you're fucking awesome.
You're awesome.
Thank you.
I literally had no idea because I think the 31st is Thursday, right? So I have like the calendar in the kitchen and it has all of August, but I don't have like the 1st, 2nd, 3rd of the next month on there. I just have that. True. So I was just like, oh, like we're not doing anything this weekend, even though like in my brain, like we weren't doing anything. And then Arakel was like, we have a convention this weekend, right? And I was like, what? Yeah. So
we've been
scrambling, but we'll be fine. But we forgot we had a convention.
Yes,
so that's cool.
Anyway, so if you came out to Long Beach Comic Con, you're the fucking realist. You're awesome. But also, still, if you're watching this when this episode comes out, this weekend we will be in Burbank. We're going to be at Legends Con, exhibiting at Legends Con. We're super excited for that. Yeah. Very, very excited. It's going to be such a fun show. There's a bunch of special guests, artists, writers, authors, like all kinds of guests that you could want at a Legends or an expanded universe convention are there. Yeah. So
it's a pretty killer lineup.
Exactly.
Get that Star Killer content. Yeah.
Exactly. So it was a 9th and 10th of September.
So. Yes.
So 9th and 10th of September at the Burbank and Marriott
Fancy.
At the Marriott in Burbank.
Yes.
We'll be there both days, and we're going to be debuting exclusively for that show. Available there first is our Force Unleashed inspired collection.
Yay!
In celebration of the 15-year anniversary of the game. Yeah. We're very, very excited for that. And actually, we do have a sneak peek for you guys, and that I forgot to prep, but it is here. So if you will allow me just a moment to stall with my words.
And enjoy the background music.
Yeah, exactly. But here they are. But I'm very, very excited for these. So mind the excessive pins here. So you're going to be seeing all 4 designs of our Force Unleashed collection, but also all of our upcoming Patreon pins that we're going to be shipping out. So we got a little delayed with Patreon, a little bit, just because due to the wedding and San Diego Comic-Con. But we're getting all caught up, so it's going to be... So everything else you see, aside from the Force Unleashed collection, is Patreon stuff that our patrons... Thank you for being so patient. Thank you for waiting.
Yes, thank you.
We love you guys. We appreciate you guys. So all of your stuff should be going out this week.
Yeah.
And eventually, whatever is left of the Patreon stuff will be made available on our secret shop, our secret Patreon shop. Or if you come see us at an event, we might have some extra there. So maybe at Legends Con, actually, as well. So
if there's any extras.
If there's any extras. But yeah. All right, here we go. Yeah. Check them out. So these, we're super, super excited for these. So that, there's, I guess there's people listening.
Like,
so there's Darth Revan pin, Anakin Force Ghost, Leia as a Jedi, Echo, and what was that? Oh, yeah, Captain Rex from Return of the Jedi. You know what? I'm going to turn this fucking sound off. I'm sorry. But yeah, so we're very, very excited for these. And our patrons, so if you don't know how our Patreon works, our patrons get to vote every month for what design or what character they like for the following month. Mm-hmm. So for the following term, they get to decide which era we get to explore, and then we pick like a list of characters from that era.
There's like 20 usually.
Like usually 20, and then they boil it down to their top 5, and then we have a top 5, like a final poll, and then from there they decide who wins. But yeah, we're very, very excited. Our patrons always pick the coolest fucking characters.
And it's always such a hard choice. Like the top 5s are always like, it doesn't matter what they decide, it's going to be awesome.
No. So it's always so much fun because it's a mystery to me.
Yeah. And I think that also like keeps it interesting for you because it's like, you want to draw all the characters, right?
I do.
But like you want to draw what people want to collect.
Exactly.
So it's a fun thing to run the polls every month.
Yeah. So we got like I said, we got to do Revan, which I'm so excited for.
He's huge.
I
How big is that pin?
He is 2.5 inches, I believe, which was intentional. Usually our Patreon terms are 2-inch pins.
Yeah.
But I said there's no way we're not making Revan this like
huge,
a good size.
Yeah.
Because you have to include a lot of the detail.
2.5 is
better
than average. You tell him, Arakel.
Yeah. It's average.
It's average. It's not average size. It's average size.
So yeah, Revan, I'm super excited for, and obviously this is just a poopy video, but
video.
I can't wait to take nice photos or see them in person.
Okay, can I just say, and I am biased, but I don't care.
No.
The Force Ghost Anakin with the pearlescent enamel came out so good.
Thank you. I don't know if you can see.
It's kind of hard to see in this video, but we use pearlescent enamel, which is all hand poured and like hand swirled. So all pins are handmade, but that particular enamel is hand swirled, and it gives this really beautiful finish, and it really does look like how the Force Ghosts look. So, good job.
Thank you.
They all look awesome, but that one, like, it looks so good.
Thank you. I'm very happy. I'm very happy with it. I'm glad that I decided to go with the pearlescent enamel. I wasn't going to at first.
Yeah.
But then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. It's Force Ghost Anakin.
Yeah. It's the chosen one.
It's the chosen one.
I gotta go all out.
So yeah, I'm very happy with that one. And then of course our Jedi Knight Leia, Queen,
beautiful.
And Echo. People have been waiting for Echo for so long. Everybody loves the clones, especially the ARC troopers.
We've done so many clones.
We have. And even when we don't do like Clone Wars era, fucking clones win. Like
Rex. Fucking Rex from Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
You motherfucker.
Exactly. I put him on there.
See what you
put him on there for like maybe.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not complaining.
Yeah,
I love it, right?
Yeah,
I'm so excited for that pin. But it's just funny because our patrons
are you like, I really wanted to choose Revan. So Revan guys or 2 clones? They're like, clones. You're like, fuck.
Literally. It's fucking funny. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
We got the whole army.
It's either
the
clones.
Entire Republic.
The entire Republic army. The Grand Army.
The whole 501st.
Yeah. No, it's just funny because like if it's not clones, it's clone adjacent.
Oh, okay.
Like fucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just funny. And then all the ones that you see on the bottom with the play over them. Sorry. There we go. So those are all of the antique silver carbonite variants that we do for each Patreon design. And pretty much the only way to get those are if you are lucky enough to get an extra one of those with your term rewards. Mm-hmm. So there's no way to secure them.
Yeah.
There's only 25 made of each one of those, and it's just we put them in random Patreon packages when the term rewards go out, and if you're lucky enough, you get one of those 25. And yeah, so people have really been enjoying those. There's a lot of people that just trade those on the Discord. So I always enjoy making those. But yeah, so our Force Unleashed collection, I'm super excited for the Juno and Proxy.
Fuck yeah.
Ram Koda, our fucking boy, Star Killer. Look at him.
Okay.
Also a clone.
But the Vader?
Not at this point.
But okay, the Vader. Can we spend a moment looking at him?
Yes, we can.
Dude, can you zoom in or no?
I can't. I wish I could. Wait, let me see. Maybe I can. Oh, I can.
Nice.
What's up?
Look at him.
Look at him.
Humpty Dumpty has never looked so good.
Grimace Vader.
Grimace Vader. But see, remember
That's
we were
so
talking
cool.
about the purple? I was like, I went with purple, but I'm
No, I
glad.
think it
Even,
works
I think
really
you
well.
pulled up the scene, right? And it's
Yeah.
kind of
It is purple. He is
Yeah.
purple. He's he's got like a purple tint.
And like, look, the pin next to him. If you made it that skin color, it would have looked
No,
so weird.
It wouldn't have looked like
Because Vader looks like he's
dead.
undead.
He's fucking yeah.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be alive. Let's be real.
That harmonica is only giving him
Yeah.
up.
Oh my god. It's a magic harmonica.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
I love the force lightning on everything.
Oh my god. Is it just me or is it fucking Vader has a harmonica inside of his own cell, which is his suit.
Oh my, he's singing the blues.
He's singing the blues.
Oh
Symbolism.
my god.
Bruh.
My woman ran out on me.
Oh, no, no, no.
What am I to do?
No, 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 no.
These fucking sand people.
He's always got to bring it back to that. It's all their fault.
Yeah. Oh my god. But yeah. So I'm very, very excited. So we're gonna we're gonna have all of we should have all of the Patreon stuff out this week to all of our patrons who have been waiting patiently, and we truly appreciate you guys for understanding. Literally everyone has been super cool.
Yeah.
And like there's been like a couple people that just not everybody's always checking Patreon, so we'll get like, hey, just want to know what's up, and I explain, right? Like we're delayed, but they're coming.
They're coming, I promise.
And they're like, don't worry, like I just want to make sure that I didn't miss it. Right?
Yeah.
And so everyone's been super, super cool. But yeah, I'm so freaking excited to finally get these in and out to everybody.
Yes.
And especially for the Force Unleashed collection, because we've been wanting to do that collection for so long now. And we've had so many of our, like, at least a good handful of patrons that have been asking for this collection for a long-ass time.
Yeah.
Especially our producer over here.
Hell yeah.
Look at him. Okay, look at Starkiller.
He's beautiful.
He's beautiful.
You really got his likeness.
Thank you. I'm really glad.
He has a very particular face.
Yeah.
But, I feel like you really got,
Yeah. No, literally, it looks like him.
Yeah?
It's awesome.
What do you think of Ramkota since you were...
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah?
Yeah, especially with the whole bandage over his eyes.
Of course.
Lady.
I was debating. I was like, should I do him, with his eyes or
like,
without? And I was like, no, it's gotta be.
Yeah. I mean, you could do a variant with white eyes.
Yeah.
So I think at one point he has a scar, right?
Oh,
And
yeah,
then
he does.
has a white. But
Like Kanan. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Well, yes. So I just wanted to give you guys a quick sneak peek. Sorry for the listeners, the audio listeners. Definitely head over to YouTube, check them out. But we're very, very excited for Legends Con. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and
trust me, guys. So you can't see them, but they're Silva approved, and you know how much of a simp I am for this Forced Unleashed shit. So Silva approved.
Yeah. And that's really all we need.
Yeah, honestly. That's the only opinion that matters.
That's the only opinion.
His number one fan.
Exactly. All right. Well, we got a lot to get into, like I said. So let's go ahead and start the show. Bella's got our opening clip.
So it's Spanglish. So
cool.
Some of it's English, some of it's Spanish.
A huevo.
But pretty much it says, "Get ready with me to go to work." But
get ready with me para ir a trabajo.
Mm-hmm. And this is Silva.
His grammar sucks.
All right, let's see.
Get ready with me para ir al trabajo.
That's me, dude. 4:40 a.m. every day.
That's so here now. Thank you. How are you?
On my last fucking nerve.
Exactly. Same energy.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys could tell by the muffled screaming. He's sitting on his bed screaming into his pillow.
Yeah.
Getting
fully
rage
dressed
out
up
before.
Yeah.
and ready for work.
Yeah.
Just to
He's
treat
ready
people
to go
right.
out the door, but he just had to get one last scream in.
Yeah, before work.
I
Because then
feel
if it
that.
comes out at work, then that's a problem.
Then you're crazy. But if you do it at home,
Then they call you crazy.
yeah.
Then you're notified by HR.
Yeah.
Yeah,
HR
no,
was-
you don't want to go to HR.
Unless
Anyway.
it's for a funny joke. Good joke.
No, no. I don't think that. Anyway, all right. Well, so yeah. Fuck, we read the first 5 chapters of Shadows of the Empire.
Yeah.
And my God,
I
so
am-
much better than I remembered.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
Yeah.
I was like honestly impressed, and not that I didn't think it was going to be good, but like I've read a lot of books,
Yeah.
but this, like, the pacing is really good. Like so what's interesting is because this takes place between episode 5 and 6, there's moments in the story that it kind of overlaps with what happens in the movie. So we'll get additional kind of like perspectives, yeah, from things that happen in the movie,
and
then they add to it.
Yeah, exactly. And the descriptions of like the book okay, so if you're lost, if you're new here, we started
Sorry.
the Punch It
Should've
Chewie book
started
club
with Silva
last
didn't
week.
do his homework.
Silva didn't do his homework. He didn't
When
fucking
do
read
I?
it. Never, fucking never.
He cheats off the person next to him.
Literally, and it's me.
Exactly.
Cutting board?
Cutting board? We should tell that story.
Fuck off.
We'll do that too.
Anyway,
Don't worry.
irrelevant. So last week we started the Punch It Chewie book club and announced that we were going to be reading 5 chapters every week, starting with Shadows of the Empire.
Yeah.
And again, we've been wanting to do that. We've been wanting to revisit the EU for a while, and because obviously because of everything that's going on, we can't talk about new stuff. So it's like this is what we can do, and honestly, it's not even a bad thing. Like
No.
I'm so glad that we started doing this.
Yeah.
I'm so immediately with the freaking prologue.
Yeah.
It was like, oh
It
my
was
God.
that good, yeah.
Oh my God. Like, why haven't, like, obviously we get busy,
Yeah.
right? Life has gotten very, like, much different from when I used to only read the EU all day.
Yeah.
But
the responsibilities or whatever.
exactly. But you know, you kind of like forget, like, you have the stories here, and like they're a part of you, but it's like, I don't know, you just obviously time and you forget.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been really, really good. So if you did not read the first 5 chapters, don't worry, either follow along with us or get on it, right?
We're gonna be talking about spoilers.
Yeah, we're gonna be talking spoilers, and you know, we also don't want to ruin it for you, but if you don't mind, it's fine. But we're here to talk about it. So the book starts off, and it's pretty much during episode 5.
Yeah.
That's how it starts off, and we're getting throughout these first 5 chapters that we've already read. It's pretty much like Bella said, is bouncing back and forth from moments and flashbacks or in dreams of what happens in episode 5, which I kind of feel like we dropped the ball a little bit. We probably should have, like, collectively been like, okay, to prepare for this book, let's watch episode 5.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but that's
I mean,
the movie
everybody
we've seen
has
the
it. I know,
most.
but
You know
it's
every
like,
line of that movie.
chill
Like,
out,
shut
okay?
up.
But still,
No, it would have been
still,
good.
Still,
Yeah.
I don't know. Shit, it's still.
Yeah. Maybe we'll watch it after.
Yeah. But it's really cool because by the way, I don't think I read or even finished the novel because I played the shit out of the game and I read the comics.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever like really read the novel.
I've never read the novel like start to finish.
So it's definitely coming in with descriptions and perspectives that I've never like even
it's
like thought of.
It's the
you know what
thoughts of the characters. So
Exactly.
not just the dialogue that they say, but also the things they're thinking and not saying.
Yeah,
and
during scenes that we know already, that we've seen, we've seen multiple times.
Yeah.
But it's like, it changes it completely.
Yeah.
Right?
It's really cool.
But I mean, we have a bunch of notes.
Yeah, we've got.
You were the one with the sticky notes.
Sticky notes and bookmarks. And
so it pretty much it starts with the carbonite chamber.
No,
right?
It starts with Vader and Palpatine's like.
That's right.
Hologram call.
So the book pretty much kicks off in a scene we all know, which is the scene from episode 5 where Vader has his pretty much meeting with the Emperor over the hologram, where he takes his knee and they're talking about Luke Skywalker, his son, the son of Anakin Skywalker, and that conversation and how that goes. And pretty much but instead of it being from the perspective of Vader that we see in the movie, this is from the perspective of Prince Shizor. So Prince Shizor is kind of like the main antagonist in this book, in this story, which is he's really, really cool. And there's gonna be a lot more that comes later, but pretty much so this is all before we all got to remember this is EU. There's no Crimson Dawn. If we're gonna start this, it's gotta be, you guys gotta just think about it as there's 2 timelines in the Star Wars universe, right? Yeah. There is the original Legends timeline, which would include the movies. Let's just, for argument's sake, let's say it's the movies. A lot of the pretty much all of the non-canon video games, so like The Force Unleashed, Dark Forces, like all that kind of stuff, and all the books and comic books that are no longer canon. So like the Dark Horse comics and all of the novels that don't have, or all of the novels that now have the Legends banner. Yeah. So all of that is part of that timeline. So I would say the Legends timeline. And then there is the canon timeline, which is again, all of the movies, including the sequel trilogy, and then all of like the spin-off movies and all the shows, and all of the new Marvel comics and the newer novels that have been published, right? So there's no Crimson Dawn. So Prince Shizor is pretty much the head of what is Crimson Dawn in the expanded universe.
The equivalent to.
Exactly. Yeah. But we also have to remember Black Sun is canon.
Yes.
It's confusing. And I'm making it more confusing, and I'm sorry.
It's just crime lords.
It's just, all I'm trying to say is Crimson Dawn does not exist.
Yeah. That's
all I'm saying. So in this story, Prince Shizor is the head of Black Sun, this criminal organization, underworld. Like, Black Sun is like the biggest crime syndicate right now in the timeline. Yeah. And he is trying to gain the favor of Palpatine, but also has some ulterior motives towards specifically Darth Vader.
Anyone evil is only looking out for themselves.
Exactly. That's
so
kind of
that in mind.
That's kind of the whole point of this book.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the book starts off with that meeting between Vader and Palpatine. But what we don't know when we're watching the movie, and when we read this book, we find out that Prince Shizor was pretty much in the background just listening in on this conversation. Yeah. Which Palpatine allowed him to. Right?
And Vader doesn't know.
Vader doesn't know. So Shizor was having a conversation with Palpatine, and then Vader called pretty much and was like, and Palpatine was like, "Here, just give me a second.
Like,
I want to talk
to him." Put him on mute,
but
like he can hear.
But he could hear everything.
Let me babysit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's how it starts, and it's titillating to say the least.
It is. I want to read an excerpt from it because
go ahead.
it's so good.
It's really good.
Where is it? Okay. The Emperor continued, "The Force is strong with him. The son of Skywalker must not become a Jedi." Son of Skywalker? Vader's son. Amazing. If he could be turned, he would become a powerful ally, Vader said. There was something in Vader's voice when he said this, something Shizor could not quite put his finger on. Longing? Worry? hope.
Dun dun dun.
That fucked me up.
Yeah,
like I almost cried. I was like, "What?"
I almost cried with like 10 different moments. Yeah,
I was such babies, but like that's crazy because Shizor knows nothing, like not nothing about him, but he's a like unbiased, or not unbiased, like we
he has no emotional ties to Vader.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like he has no emotional ties to Vader, but he's still picking up on that.
Yeah. Well, by the way, Shizor, for those of you that did read the first 5 chapters with us, and you're maybe wondering how the fuck Shizor knows Vader was Anakin Skywalker.
Yes.
It's because, again, that's why I brought up Crimson Dawn. Like Crimson Dawn, Shizor and the Black Sun, like, knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Knowledge is power. Like, his job
is to know things that no one else knows.
Exactly.
Or to make things go away.
Exactly.
That they don't want people to know.
So he did know that Anakin Skywalker is Darth Vader. Like, Vader was once Anakin Skywalker.
So he's Palpatine's PR?
No. Well, no. Palpatine... So Palpatine's pretty much... just uses him for his, like, assets. Okay. For his, like, underworld transport. Because he also...
you need somebody, Shizor knows a guy.
Yeah, so Shizor also has a bunch of legitimate...
Yeah.
So Shizor also has a bunch of legitimate businesses already because of their criminal organization, right? So it's like with real world mobs, right?
Yeah, they have their business fronts.
Yeah, they have their fronts, exactly. Yeah. So Shizor has like a lot of assets like that, specifically transportation.
Exactly.
Which that will come into play later. But pretty much that's why Palpatine, he's useful to Palpatine, right? For certain things. But yeah, so that's why he was there talking with Palpatine and everything. But that's pretty much just the prologue. Then chapter 1 jumps into what was it?
The I Love You, I Know.
Oh, so Leia.
From Leia's flashback or nightmare?
No, she was having a dream. Well, nightmare because so Leia. So chapter 1, as soon as we kind of get introduced to Shizor and we're in that room with Vader and Palpatine, chapter 1 kicks right off with Leia, and specifically it jumps straight into the carbonite chamber.
Like, you don't know it's a dream yet.
You don't know it's a dream. Yeah. But it jumps into the carbonite chamber scene, like word for word, scene for scene from Empire.
Yeah.
But it's diving into like Leia's thoughts throughout the whole thing.
It's crazy.
And is there something that you want to do? All right, go ahead.
So more guards moved in to put cuffs on Chewie. The Wookiee nodded, calmer. Yes, he understood Han. He didn't like it, but he understood. He allowed the guards to cuff him. Han and Leia looked at each other. This can't be happening, she thought. Not now. The emotion took them. Neither could resist it. They came together like magnets, held each other. They embraced, kissed, full of fire and hope, full of ashes and despair. 2 stormtroopers jerked Han away, backed him onto the lift plate over the makeshift freezing chamber. The words erupted from Leia, unbidden, uncontrollable. Lava blasted from a volcanic explosion. I love you. And Han, brave, strong Han, nodded at her. I know.
Damn.
Like, how could you make that scene more emotional than it already is?
Because you don't think about it from her perspective.
No.
You're seeing it like, oh, that's heartbreaking. Like,
you're like, that sucks.
You're like, oh, that sucks, right?
Yeah.
Or like, that's romantic.
But this is the moment that she realizes she loves him.
Yeah, that's why she says it.
Yeah.
Because she's also like, this is the last time I'm going to see him.
Exactly, because if he dies and she never told him how she felt, she would live with regret.
Yeah. Yeah. And for Leia.
For like I don't care about nobody and no one. It's just
exactly.
me, myself, and I.
To like just...
Men ain't shit.
I love you.
Yeah. Like,
and that motherfucker.
Word vomit. Yeah.
And for that motherfucker to be like, I know, bitch.
I would have been like, I take it back. Fuck you.
Fuck, dude.
But that's their relationship.
Yeah.
Like, that's their, like...
They popped
neither
away
one of
everybody
them,
who I cared for.
Yeah, well, because that's what's funny is that that's who she truly is that I don't fucking need anybody.
Yeah.
And he's the I know.
Yeah,
You don't need me.
I know.
And she's like, why do you know that?
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, she's like that because everybody who she cared for got popped away.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Well,
I mean, you're not wrong.
true. There's trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just thought the way that was described was so beautiful.
It was very
Yeah.
beautiful. The writing is very, I mean, like, I feel like even when I was reading these stories, like I would not have taken
Like,
all this out of it. You know what I mean?
they embraced, kissed, full of fire and hope, full of ashes and despair.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
like metal as fuck.
Suggestion. So you know how on the settings for Disney Plus, there's English and then there's descriptive English. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
she raises her hand and whatever. So imagine a version like that, but they could edit so they stretch that scene longer, and then it goes into her thoughts, and that's
That
the
would be
quote.
cool.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
imagine
Someone,
a
like,
version
edited.
that and they attach all inner thoughts,
Yeah.
like anime. You know, like oh no.
Yeah.
Oh what?
So this is the true power of
Exactly.
yeah.
Of
But
the
like
devil fruit.
inner thoughts. That'd be sick.
That would be really cool.
Yeah. No, exactly. Well, I mean, that's exactly
Well,
what
books
these
are, I
what
guess.
these
Yeah.
stories are. You know,
Yeah.
especially those in between the movies
Yeah.
novels like
Oh
this.
yeah, for sure.
Was there something else?
No, it was just like she's going through all of these emotions and trying to stay hopeful, and you know, her and Luke and Chewie and Lando are like trying to do what they can do to get him back, or start to plan how they can get him back. They don't even know where he is.
Yeah. So they're on Tatooine right now, right?
Yeah.
So she's having this nightmare, which is pretty much just PTSD of what happened on Cloud City.
Yeah.
And she wakes up in like a cold sweat after he gets frozen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he gets frozen, right? And then she wakes up, and she's in a bed and she's on Tatooine. Right?
Yeah.
And so is Luke, I believe.
Yeah. So Luke also has Luke also has a nightmare at the same time, but he's remembering his duel with Vader. And Vader telling him that he's his father.
That's right. So yeah, Leia's having like PTSD and like she's like mourning Han pretty much.
Yeah.
Because she's like, well, I love this man, and now he's like, as soon as I realize that I love him, he's gone.
Yeah.
Right. And now
She's going through it.
And now Luke is going through this fucking like
I had
roller
this hand
coaster.
and now it's gone.
Oh my God. You did not just do that. You did not just do that.
She's mourning Han.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Oh my God.
I'll give you that one.
Oh my God.
Oh, I'll give you that one.
So what was funny?
Silva, what movie was this?
What the fuck?
What movie was this?
Which one number? Give me a number. That helps me.
5.
Empire Strikes Back. Dude, every time since that one episode, I kid you not, sometimes I'm driving back and I'm like, wait, say him. I'm driving back, I'm like, say it over. These motherfuckers are gonna ask you again.
See, now you know. You learn through public humiliation. It works.
That's
Episode 4.
It works.
Episode 4.
A New Hope.
Episode 6.
Return of the Jedi.
Episode
Return
1.
of the Jedi, right?
Yeah, Episode 1.
Phantom Menace.
Episode 2.
I know the prequels. It was
Okay,
fucking
okay.
Clone Wars and
Alright.
then Revenge of the Sith.
Okay.
I grew up with the Clone Wars. I mean the fucking prequels.
What's number
Yeah.
2?
Clone Wars.
Oh, that's the show.
That's the show.
Oh, well, you said number 2.
Yeah, Episode 2.
Episode 2?
Yeah. Star Wars Episode 2.
Attack of the Clones.
Okay,
Yeah.
there we go. Yeah.
That was a
Triple
close one.
checking.
That was a
That's
close
not
one.
delay. I'm triple checking. I was like, oh my god,
Bro,
I'm gonna
he
stutter
made
as well.
flashcards. He made
No, I
flash-
didn't. Dude. Even right now, my heart's pounding. It's like, doo, doo, doo.
He's so worried. He's so worried.
I'm having more PTSD than those two characters.
Oh my God.
Well, they're fictional, so. All right.
Well, she's
So-
so like, the fucking.
Okay,
Stay
so chapter 2.
Yes.
Leia is told by Lando, or Leia and Chewie are told by Lando, to meet up at
Oh my
a
God.
cantina in
This
Mos
is-
Eisley.
Okay,
Let
me just preface this. You guys remember when I was talking about the Han and Chewie comics, and I was like, this totally got down Han and Chewie's banter?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This book, the fucking wording, the interactions, the like the
dynamic.
humor, the dynamic,
Yeah.
all of it between Luke, Leia, Chewie, and Lando.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Especially, I think my favorite right now has been the dynamic between Leia and Chewie.
Same.
Fucking hilarious.
It's so good. So, reminder, Chewie owes Han a life debt.
Yeah.
Because Han saved Chewbacca's life.
Yes.
And Wookiees take that very seriously.
Right.
So, if you guys remember in episode 5, Han tells Chewie, take care of Leia.
Yeah.
So it's not just keep an eye out, visit her once a week. No, it's you are her bodyguard.
Yeah.
And if something happens to her, I'll fucking kill you.
It's Chewie owes Han a life debt.
Yeah.
Which now
it's passed on, right?
Technically Han they are staying hopeful, and he's still alive. Right? They know he's still alive. So for a Wookiee, in Chewie's perspective, it's okay. The man I owe my life debt to is now, imprisoned.
Yeah.
He's gone, taken away, and his final wish, if he dies, his final wish was for me to take care of the woman he loves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now exactly. It's like his life debt to Han extends to that request.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, no way am I leaving your side.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're in this bar. It's like the grimiest, smelliest, most vulgar bar or place that Leia's ever been.
Well, they're in Mos Eisley, but I don't think it's the Mos Eisley cantina.
No. I think it's a different cantina.
Yeah.
But it's a specific place that Lando said meet us here, right? Oh. So I'm gonna read another excerpt because this is it's too fucking funny, right? So, during the last hour, she'd had to look a little closer at several of the patrons that she liked, despite the fact that she wore old and threadbare freight handlers' coveralls, spotted and stained with lube, had her hair wound into a tight and unattractive bun, and did not meet anyone's gaze. There had been a steady parade of various humans and aliens to her table, trying to pick her up. Also, despite the fact that a fully grown and armed Wookiee sat at the same table. Males. Didn't seem to matter what species they were when they wanted female company. And it didn't seem to matter what species the female was either. Chewie made it clear that they weren't welcome, and between his size and bowcaster, nobody much wanted to argue the point. But new ones kept coming. Chewie growled at a bulbous-headed Bith who banged into the table. The alien, whose species was normally well-behaved and peaceful, had obviously had way too much to drink, if he would even think it was possible that he and Leia could find anything in common. The Bith looked at Chewie's bared teeth, hiccuped, then tottered off. Leia said, "Look, I appreciate your help, but I can handle these guys." Chewie turned his head to one side and regarded her, a gesture she was coming to realize meant skepticism and amusement mixed about equally. She took it as a challenge. "Hey, next time somebody comes over, just watch me. You can do it without threats, you know." It didn't take long. I love them. I love this. I love this.
It's so fucking funny.
It didn't take long. The next pest in the rotation was a Deveronian, a horned humanoid who, surprise, wanted to buy Leia a drink. "Thank you, but I'm waiting for somebody."
A horny.
A horned individual. The Deveronian said, "Well, why don't I keep you company until they get here? Perhaps they were delayed. It might be a long wait." "Thank you, but I have company." She nodded at Chewie. The alien ignored the gesture, and since the Wookiee didn't speak or point his weapon, kept right on talking. He said, "Oh, you're taking care of it? Okay." "I'm really quite pleasant to have around, you know. Many femmes have thought so. Many." He leered at her, his pointed teeth looking particularly white against his red lips, shot his tongue out, and sucked it back in. It was as long as her forearm.
What's up with the fucking comparisons? Is this a fan fiction? God damn.
Pretty much. Spare me, Leia thought. So much for the easy way. No. Go away. You don't know what you're missing, little one. His leer grew wider, making him look more demonic. She glanced at Chewie, who was about to start laughing. She could tell. She glared at the Deveronian. I'll try to get over it. Leave. Just one drink, and I can show you my Ranian holocards. They are very stimulating.
No.
He started to sit across from her. This is the best part. I love this bitch.
So technically next to Chewie, right?
No, I think it's like Leia and Chewie.
Yeah, I think
and
he's
then he sat,
opposite
like,
of
over.
Leia and Chewie.
Okay.
Leia pulled the small blaster she had tucked into her coverall pocket, brought it out over the table where the Deveronian could see it. She pointed it at the ceiling and thumbed the power setting button from stun to kill. He saw that too. Very quickly, he said, well, perhaps another time. I just recalled that I left the converter charging on my ship. You'll excuse me.
Oh my fucking God.
And read what happened.
He hurried away, amazing what waving a blaster under an obnoxious would-be suitor's nose would do to improve his manners. Chewie did laugh now, said something, and she had a pretty good idea of what it meant. Nobody likes an obnoxious Wookiee, she said. But she smiled. The point went to Chewie, and she was woman enough to admit it.
Yeah.
Like,
that fucking
badass.
dude.
Is that not fucking amazing?
That's hilarious.
I love
the chemistry level,
right?
right?
That's what I mean. Yeah,
It's so good.
This is between 5 and 6.
Yeah,
Said?
yeah. So it's after.
So
5.
how many years has she known Chewie then?
Since episode 4, what? A couple?
2, 3 years.
2-3 years.
Yeah, that's a solid. You know?
Yeah.
Right.
2-3 years. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think I said it at one point, and it's kind of sprinkled throughout, but she's slowly learning. Obviously, she doesn't understand what Chewie's saying, but Chewie's very expressive with his body language and with like his facial expressions and his tone. So she's starting to slowly pick up on that, right? So she's like, Chewie did laugh now, said something, and she had a pretty good idea of what it meant.
He was like, yeah, you got that.
Yeah, you're good. You don't need me.
You're good.
Yeah. But I just love that they don't really understand. Well, I mean, Chewie understands her, but she's like slowly learning Chewie. And I just love that she's like, that point went to Chewie and she was woman enough to admit it. I just love that.
It's so funny. No, I love their chemistry.
Yeah.
I really do. It's so fucking funny.
He's like, I know you can take care of yourself,
and then,
but I'm still gonna take care of you.
So after that, Lando shows up, and this motherfucker.
Oh,
what does he do?
Oh my god!
So after she's been hit on by like 20 dudes, and after she finally had to like whip out her blaster.
Yeah.
It was fucking.
Where is it?
So.
Lando's not gonna rizz her up, right? Like, because he's gonna probably
he rizzes everyone up.
He rizzes everyone up.
Just droids.
Not in this timeline.
Okay.
Not in this timeline. That's the other timeline. It's buy you a drink, beautiful. Somebody said from behind her.
Oh.
Leia turned. It was Lando. She was angry at him, but glad to see him too. How'd you get in here? Back door, Lando said. So yeah, then they start talking.
Yeah, they start talking. So pretty much what they were meeting there, and Leia and Chewie were waiting there for a while, obviously.
For Lando.
For Lando.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So Lando picked that cantina as a meeting spot between them, and Lando arrives pretty much with news of where they can find the Slave One, because the Slave One has Han Solo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Boba Fett has Han Solo.
Yeah.
So he arrives with news saying, letting them know that one of his informants, an independent, what did he say?
Freelance cargo delivery.
Freelance cargo delivery.
I know an Amazon driver.
An illegal Amazon driver.
Exactly.
So pretty much a freelance cargo delivery.
Yes. Smuggler.
So a smuggler.
Yeah.
Named Dash Rendar.
Freelance.
I love it.
It's so funny.
Totally legitimate.
Lance?
Huh?
What's his name?
No, freelance.
Oh, Freelance. Yeah.
So this is Dash Rendar. So a lot of us know him. If you don't, Dash is fucking awesome, and you will see how fucking cool he is.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he name drops Dash Rendar, saying that he is pretty much he's his informant, and that he had just reported to Lando that the slave one was sighted in what planet?
A moon called Gaul circling
Gaul.
Zar, a gas giant out of one of the far rim systems.
So pretty much this is kind of like the beginning of their plans to save Han.
Yeah.
So like what we end up seeing in Return of the Jedi. So them saving Han. And they're also like trying to lay low and stay quiet, not attract a lot of attention. Because they're also being chased by the Empire.
Yeah.
And all this shit. But pretty much right now their priority is saving Han.
Yeah.
If they can, because he still hasn't been delivered to Jabba the Hutt, and it's been months. So it's been months since Episode 5. So since Han was frozen in carbonite, it's been like a few months, and Boba Fett still has not delivered Han Solo to Jabba the Hutt. We still don't know why.
Yeah.
We don't know why it's taken so many months, but I'm sure we're gonna find out. But I guess take it away, Spud.
So
Where were we?
well, this is right after the freelance cargo delivery.
Oh yeah. So go ahead.
But Lando flashed his bright smile again. Mos Eisley is known as the galaxy's armpit. Sorry, Mos Eisley.
You said it every time. I was just waiting.
My bad. Mos Eisley is known as the galaxy's armpit, he said. I guess there are worse places of the anatomy where we could be stuck.
That's right.
Bruh.
I love
It's
that.
so fucking funny, dude. The fucking.
But yeah, so they get this information, and then they're like, only problem is Gaul is an Imperial enclave. Got a couple of destroyers based there, plus all of the attendant TIE fighters. So if Fett's ship is there, it won't be easy to get him.
Yeah.
So this is like full-on rescue mission.
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't know how we're going to do it, but we're, figure it out.
Yeah.
But so that's that. And then it cuts back to Shizor, where he has a discussion, I guess, not meeting, like it's a discussion with Vader.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
So after that, Shizor goes to Vader, to the Imperial Palace.
Yeah.
I believe. Yeah. So the Imperial Palace on Coruscant is what used to be the Jedi Temple.
Yeah.
Right. And so Shizor goes personally to meet with Vader because Vader summoned him pretty much. And Shizor at this point is going through all of his intentions and why he's doing all the things that he's doing the way that he's doing them.
Yeah.
In his head as he's going to meet with Vader, pretty much saying like I would have him come to me, but I don't want them to think that I feel like I'm better than Vader, because then they're going to suspect that something isn't right, that I have like animosity towards Vader.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want anybody to suspect anything negative on his end towards Vader or the Empire.
Yeah.
Because pretty much what happened was the Empire and Vader personally, because of some, I think it was like Imperial experiments. Were
biological weapon pet project of Vader's.
Yeah, so pretty much they're testing like nukes or something, right? And it was on Shizor's home planet, and it ended up killing his entire family.
No. Yes, but the bacterium escaped the quarantine.
That's right.
And got out, and they sterilized the place, which meant killing everyone because
reset button.
Yeah, because they're like, well, if it gets out and goes to another planet, like it could cause mass destruction. But 200,000 people were killed. from
Including,
lasers crisscrossing the doomed metropolis from orbit.
Yeah, so they orbitally bombarded like the planet, pretty much, or the city that this happened in. And included in the casualties was Shizor's like mom, dad, brother, sister,
his whole family. And he would have died. Like, he was supposed to be on planet, but he was off doing something.
So he's obviously not with the cause. He's just there for as a vengeance plot.
That's what it started to develop.
So pretty much what he wants is power.
Yeah.
And the two most powerful beings in the galaxy above him are Palpatine and Vader.
He is third.
He's third.
He's a billionaire.
He's
a billionaire.
Like, force sensitive?
No.
But if power-wise, like
influence, money, networking. He's technically 3. He wants to become 2.
Evil Batman.
So so he wants not just the power, but also the revenge. So he's seeing it as like killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Yeah. So I take out Vader. And I'll have more influence, more power, and get his revenge for his family.
Exactly.
So that was like oh shit, like.
But okay, really so is he just a rich guy with connections, or does he have like fighting background?
Oh no, he's pretty fucking lethal.
Yeah, he's not just. No, he's not like a politician that like has other people do his dirty work. Like,
actually, I'm gonna pull up a picture. So you can see him.
He's also a warrior.
If you can also put this on the. So this is Prince Shizor.
They're reptilian.
Yeah, so he's a Faline. That's the what his species are called, the Faline, and they're pretty much supposed to be the most beautiful beings in the galaxy, right? And like face structure wise, and just like looks wise, and also their species give off these pheromones when you're around them that female, like I think it's just humans, or like if they're not from his species, but other females that aren't his species, when they're around them, like pretty much him, like
he's got maximum riz,
like they immediately are like attracted to him. Yeah, they're immediately attracted to him.
He's not force sensitive, he's riz sensitive.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's why he's number 3.
Yeah. He's the Rizzler.
So, oh my god. So the reason Vader calls him to him is because he says, "My master bids me to arrange for a fleet of your cargo ships to deliver supplies to our bases on the Rim." Shizor says, "My entire operation is at your disposal. I am always happy to aid the Empire in any way that I can." So he's kissing ass.
Yeah.
But Vader's just like, good. You know, I'd kill you if you didn't, pretty much.
But wait, how is he... Can Vader not read minds, but can he sense when someone's like a fake ass?
Kinda.
Can't he? Because then how is he like blocking that off? Or how is Vader? I guess he's also too OP to even give a shit.
He's got riz.
He's got the riz, yeah. Vader's like, oh my god.
Not just on the ladies, like he.
Shut up.
I'm not saying he's seducing Vader. Yeah. I'm saying he knows the way to talk.
No, but also
the way to like.
Shizor is very strong mentally.
Oh, okay.
Like he's not like
yeah, you're right.
You know,
in order to infiltrate the mind.
Weak-minded, right?
Yeah.
So it's like also if Vader was trying to do that, you know.
You can feel when someone's probing in your mind.
Exactly. So Vader pretty much, because Shizor is useful to the Emperor
and a kiss ass,
Vader isn't gonna harm him, and Shizor knows that. That's the dynamic. Okay. Shizor knows. He's like, he won't fuck with me.
Damn.
Because if he does, then he has to answer to Palpatine.
And they have to find another cargo trade. Blah blah blah. Yeah. So here it is. Shizor's legitimate shipping operations were quite extensive, among the largest in the galaxy. Much of the money from Black Sun's illicit activities had been funneled into Shizor's transport systems, and XTS alone was enough to make him a wealthy and powerful man.
Yeah. So he's fine. Right?
Yeah, he'll be fine.
A powerful man.
So all of that, and pretty much like,
he starts going over his plan.
Yeah.
Of how he's gonna take down Vader, which is pretty much his plan is to
pit them against each other.
More like gain influence with Palpatine. And once he has an opportunity to make Vader look like a fucking idiot, he's like, he's gonna go for it, because pretty much his plan is for Palpatine to kill Vader,
and then just take his place.
Yeah, and then he'll take his place.
But he's not even force sensitive.
Yeah, but he's
doesn't
a
matter.
fucking idiot. He doesn't know how the Sith work.
Yeah,
he's seeing it in terms of the Empire. And
just like a pyramid.
Yeah,
like,
and in his eyes,
structure.
and in, I would say, maybe the galaxy's eyes, and I may be wrong, but pretty much Vader is the only, like, Lord of the Sith, publicly. Palpatine, like, no one knew Palpatine was
Super
a Sith Lord.
Shadows always.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, in his eyes, it's like, Vader is the Sith Lord, but Palpatine holds his leash. You know what I mean? So he's like, well, if I can get Vader out of the fucking picture, and on top of that, to add insult to injury, I make him look bad with his own master, and then his master kills him, then that's, to him, he's like, well, then to me, that's justice for what he did to my, like, to me, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So, chapter 3, Luke is at Ben Kenobi's home on Tatooine, and I'll just read it. So his teacher hadn't left much behind, not for a man who had once been Obi-Wan Kenobi, a Jedi Knight and a general in the Clone Wars. Perhaps the most valuable thing was the old and intricately carved bowwood trunk and its contents, including an ancient leather-bound book. A book that contained all manner of wondrous things for a would-be Jedi, such as plans for building a lightsaber. Yeah. The thumbprint clasp on the volume had accepted Luke's right thumb to unlock it, and once it was open, he saw the flash packet rigged inside the cover. Had anybody tried to force the clasp, the book would have burst into flame. So
Obi-Wan knew.
Luke uses the journal to build his own lightsaber.
But yeah, so also what's really cool, I think this is one of my favorite parts about the lore and, like, the original trilogy that isn't really talked about enough, is the fact that Obi-Wan had a journal. His entire time that he was on Tatooine, he kept a journal, and where he wrote down lessons that he learned later in his life because of the mistakes he made. Like shit, he obviously exactly. Dude. So it's like all these lessons that he learned early in his life, but also the lessons that he's learning now that he's sitting there writing in his journal.
Would cry. Imagine it's like date and time. Luke got his first steps in or some shit.
Oh my
like,
god, yeah. Probably.
Just like watching from the fucking
his little binocs.
He found some creature, but he wasn't afraid. He kind of has your bravery or some shit.
Well, that's the thing, is that's in there. That's in there, and we've never. The only thing we've gotten is that recently, when the Obi-Wan Kenobi show came out, they released like a 6-issue series. It should have been that. It 100%.
Every episode is an excerpt of his.
That's what I thought they were gonna do, and I'm pretty sure it's recorded here on our podcast and whatever episodes came out during that time. Yeah. But we literally talked about how it was like I thought that's how every episode was gonna start, was with, or not. I'm sorry, not every episode. I thought the show was gonna end with Obi-Wan writing in his journal, and the whole show we watched was him writing in his journal, right? So
that would have been really cool.
It would have been.
I wish they did that.
But imagine cool shit happening.
We don't do that here.
No. But yeah, so I think this is one of the coolest parts, I think, personally.
Yeah.
For me, is that Obi-Wan kept a journal, and not only that, but that Luke uses that journal to pretty much finish his training.
Yeah.
Right? And how to build his lightsaber that he now doesn't have. Like he needs a new lightsaber. That's why his fucking green one looks just like Obi-Wan's, and like all these things that's never like explained, but it's like in the
explicitly
books.
Said,
it's in the comics. It's in all of the, but no one ever talks about it.
Something I really like about this book and what books add to Star Wars is that, like this here. So he's remembering Ben, right? Yeah. Obviously. He says, Ben, struck down by Vader on the Death Star. The memory was equal parts grief and rage. Whenever we see Luke think about Ben or after Ben, he's sad.
Yeah.
But there's also
angry.
also anger there. Yeah. And that's a very important thing.
Realization. So technically he's going exactly what Anakin went through on episode 2 after he lost his mother. And then Yoda was like, okay, he's missing his mother, but that leads to...
Yeah.
So he's exactly through that right now.
He's being...
Luke, but with Ben.
Yeah.
Luke exactly mirrors Anakin.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point of the original trilogy, is that, and unlike Anakin, Luke makes the right decision.
Yeah.
And he doesn't get fucking lucky like some people
let me put it close up.
would have
repeat it.
Us believe. Anyway.
You tell him.
Yeah. So, but...
I don't know when my voice got loud there. I'm sorry.
A little heated. But I really like that, and it speaks to Luke not giving into those feelings.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because he does have those feelings. It's not that he doesn't have those feelings.
No.
He does, but he works through them, and he, in the end, realizes...
He realizes.
That's not the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just appreciated that little thing there, and it's throughout the story, obviously that happens. And then there's kind of this moment of he kind of has this like mental ping with Leia. Well, like he thinks of Leia.
Well,
yeah, but at the story in this point in the story,
I'm sorry.
yeah, they don't know their brother and sister. So he's like, they do this kind of mental ping. He goes outside and he sees Lando, Leia, and Chewie arriving on a land speeder.
Yes.
So the Force was kind of like a ding, like
she's here.
She's on her way, like she's here, but like he didn't hear the land speeder.
Yeah.
Ding dong.
It was like the Force, right? So then we go back to the Imperial Center, and Shizor is attacked by supposedly a random person, a random assassin. Mm-hmm. And he just
comes at him with a blaster first.
Yeah, he comes at him with a blaster. There's like, I think, there's 4 bodyguards. So 2 in front, 2 in the back. The guy in front gets shot by the blaster. He goes down.
Yeet.
And then
the second guard in the front shoots at the guy, but he shoots his blaster out of his hand.
Yes.
But the guy is huge. He's like, what, 7 or 8 feet tall?
Yeah, he said he's like really tall.
I don't think it's a human. I think it's like another larger species.
Yeah.
But he gets the blaster shot out of his hand by the other guard that was up front. But he still, instead of shooting him, he just charges at Shizor.
Yeah.
And the guards are like about to fucking, jump in. Yeah. And Shizor's like, I got it. Let him come at me.
Oh, fuck.
Right? And you have it in front. So he comes at him, and Shizor does some fucking like ninjutsu, fucking fucking kung fu shit, and like pretty much gets him down on his knees, or is it on like in a chokehold?
Well, on that image you showed us, he does have that kung fu.
Yeah, he's got like a fucking. Yeah. No, he's
so
fucking...
Shizor ducked and sidestepped, kicked the attacker in the belly with the toe of his right boot, and knocked the man's wind out. Yeah. So the attacker, tottered back a few steps to catch his breath. And he goes, "Have we met? I have an excellent memory for faces, but I don't recall yours."
There is.
Yeah. Oh, and then he's like, "You killed my father. Have you forgotten Colby Hoff?" The man charged again, fist swinging wildly. Shizor stepped aside and almost nonchalantly slammed a hammer fist into the man's head, knocking him down.
Yeah, it's like some... What's that character from Rogue One?
It's like pressure points.
Chirrut Imwe?
One of the staff?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of... You
like
could
like
say
very
the same,
calm, very...
The same martial art. Does it have a name in the universe?
Fucking Teras Kasi?
I don't know.
I think it's Teras Kasi.
The name of the martial art?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, shit. Yeah, probably is that.
I think they fucking name drop it in this, don't they?
I don't know, maybe.
Pretty sure they do.
So he goes, "You are mistaken, Hoff. Your father committed suicide, as I recall. Stuck a blaster in his mouth and blew the back of his brain off, didn't he? Very messy." Yeah, this guy's fucking crazy.
Yeah. So this is a very much like mob. This is like a mob story.
Yeah.
Right.
It's dark.
It's fucking dark. It's fucking dark.
Yeah. He's like, you ruined him.
He's nonchalant, being super aggressive. He's like, oh yeah, you mean your father, the one who pulled the Kurt Cobain? Yeah.
Literally, that's what he just did to him. This guy's distraught, and he's like mocking him.
Stupid.
So he goes, you ruined him. He struggled up on his good knee. We were business competitors, Shizor said matter-of-factly. He gambled that he was smarter than I, a foolish mistake. If you cannot afford to lose, you should not play the game.
Ooh.
Oof.
And then the guy still comes at him.
Oh, still shit.
He says, you see, to contend with Shizor is to lose. As far as any reasonable person is concerned, attacking me will also be judged as suicide. AKA, that guy did not kill himself. Yeah. And then he cracks the guy's neck.
What the fuck?
And says, clean up
cracks,
this mess.
Not like...
No,
he snaps.
snaps
it.
his neck. He looked down at the body. He felt no remorse. It was like stepping on a roach. It meant nothing to him at all.
The description of this book
is
so badass.
Dude, yeah. I'm telling you.
Shitted on.
Oh, God.
Okay, what's next?
Chapter
You're
4.
not even, what, like 10 pages
here
in?
it is. Well, the Emperor said, it seems that Prince Shizor has kept up his martial arts practice, does it not?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, yeah, pretty much Palpatine let that guy in to the protected area of the Imperial Palace so that he would try and kill Shizor.
Yeah.
Like a test? Or
Yeah,
he wanted
a test.
He wanted
That's
to see.
all
Constantly
Palpatine
testing
does.
them, right?
Palpatine
He's
is
psycho.
always fucking doing shit like that.
The
Always.
fucking asshole.
He does it with Vader. He does it with fucking Shizor. Like anyone that, if he can test them, because pretty much the way the Sith think is, well, if you die, then you weren't worthy.
Yeah.
You weren't the strongest.
Wasting my time.
You were wasting my time. You were weak.
Fuck.
Dude,
It's
fucking crazy.
Well, technically, Vader did that with Starkiller.
Yeah, with Starkiller.
Yeah.
Well, it's the way of the Sith. That's how they work. Yeah. It's fucking crazy, dude. It's so fucking good.
Dude, like, I can see it right now visually. Like, he's probably not even 10 pages in. And we're, like, so much content.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
This is only page 36.
Holy shit.
And we've only read,
right?
like, one in each chapter,
So...
What part is this?
This is the Emperor. Prince Shizor was hardly at risk after all, was he? He seems quite capable of taking care of himself, though I would hate to see anything happen to him as long as he is useful to us.
He said that to Vader.
Yeah.
So pretty much Vader and Palpatine...
Nobody's safe.
So Palpatine and Vader watched that whole thing. And Vader was like, how did that guy get in here? And this is what Palpatine said. Was like, I don't know. But I'm glad he could protect himself.
It's kind of crazy how he got in here, huh?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Who would have thought?
And I don't think she read it, but in the line where it says like that he, like when he responds to like, how did he get in here?
Yeah.
It's like, he was like, what he said was that he was surprised, but he didn't sound surprised.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay, chapter 4 is them all meeting up, and pretty much,
Who's them all?
Lando, Leia, Chewie,
and Luke. Okay.
And they're filling in Luke because Luke was at Ben's house. He wasn't at the cantina.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Trying to see where we are. Pretty much Luke is like, so once Luke hears the news, he's like, okay, let's go. And they're like, okay, wait a second. Like, we don't even have a plan.
Yeah.
Like, how are we going to get there? Are we going to have backup? Are we going to get the Rebel Alliance involved? Yeah. And pretty much Leia's like, well, you know, like, Han's such a good pilot. Like, we wouldn't want to lose such a good pilot for the rebellion.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, yeah, that's why we're going to get Han.
Yeah.
So great, Luke said. Let's do it. Not so fast, Lando said. First, what say we wait for the confirmation that Fett is actually on Gaul before we take off? That's a long trip to make for nothing.
True.
And then Leia says, I'll speak to leadership. So she's going to talk to the rebels, see if someone can help or confirm or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. So pretty much they're trying to get Rogue Squadron to help, to assist them. So Wedge Antilles and Rogue Squadron, because he's the head of Rogue Squadron now.
Yeah.
To help them rescue Han, pretty much. And Leia's like, well, I'm going to talk to Mon Mothma and the rest of the rebellion to, with my influence, right?
Yeah. Okay, so then it cuts back to Shizor, and he is in a private meeting with they're called Vigos.
So capos.
Oh, okay. So he's having a meeting with his Vigos, and there is someone betrayed them. So
there's a traitor amongst them.
And he knows who it is, but he's gonna make them like squeal pretty much, right? Okay. So he's kind of like he has this human. Is she a droid? I can't remember exactly.
It's like a replicant.
Yeah.
So it's like
so he has
like a human
replicant
but
lady.
they're AI. They're like a droid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They look human, but
she's
droids.
like super beautiful and powerful and
like Blade Runner, like a replicant.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she's kind of like stalking around, like they're all sitting at like a table, and she's kind of like stalking around them as he's talking, and they're all getting like nervous. They're all like, "Oh shit, like something's going on."
Yeah.
And he's kind of just like, scaring them, right? Talking to them.
Yeah.
They were pretty much giving him their reports. So pretty much the meeting was about legit Black Sun business, right? So like underworld shit, like their stuff. And they're talking about like their spice trade, their gambling,
they thought it was a typical sales numbers.
Yeah,
exactly.
Rebuttal, but he was there with a mission of like,
he's like
these motherfuckers.
Well, yeah, because
literally they're like the slave trade is down 58% since the rebellion. The rebellion like made it illegal.
Well, not illegal. The rebellion is rallying other systems to their cause.
Yeah,
and not making them, but they're like, okay, we're gonna outlaw slavery.
They outlawed slavery.
Yeah, but the Empire let it run rampant.
Yeah,
they didn't care.
Fuck. Damn. And Vader had an issue with that.
Yeah, Vader was really.
But that's like the one thing that he like draws the line at, which is interesting. Like, because the psychology of that.
Well, it's because he was a slave.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is
really sad.
But anyway, so they're talking about like their numbers on like the spice trade, the gambling, the prostitution, the human trafficking, and like that's what they're talking about.
All the underworld dealings.
All their shit. All the shit that they had like they dip their toes in. And but pretty much Shizor was like, well, I'm gonna conduct the meeting normally, and at the end, once I have my reports, because I still need my reports.
Yeah.
Then we'll take care of the traitor, right?
Damn.
And I'm trying to see, like, why what he did. I don't remember.
His ass, like in front of everyone.
Pretty much, he says. Well, he's like, okay, like now that this business, like our business is concluded, there's a fucking traitor among us, pretty much.
Yeah.
And then I think he said something to kind of like for that person to know that he knew who it was.
Oof.
And they like get up.
Yeah.
And as soon as like they get up to, I'm guessing, run away.
Yeah.
The replicant girl fucking like
Guri.
Fucking
Guri.
Fastest gun in the West ass.
Yeah. Fucking
kills him.
Yeets him. Fucking.
So, is there an image of the droid?
I'm gonna look her up right now.
It's probably like fan art. I don't know
if there's
even.
Guri, right?
Yeah.
Guri. Oh yeah. Now I remember her. Yeah, so there's actually a comic series after Shadows of the Empire with her. So this is her.
She's a babe.
She can shoot me anytime. I'll be the traitor. Fuck.
So that's her. She's badass.
Okay, so they have drawn it. That's cool.
Well, there's a whole comic series. So it's Shadows of the Empire Evolutions, I think, is after this.
Well, we'll have to read that after.
Yeah. I don't know if there's a book.
She's
or if
definitely
going to
be in my Star Wars Unlimited deck.
Yeah. So she's fucking badass.
Okay, so this chapter ends with She's are kind of like, okay, like I need to plan this perfectly, and it has to go exactly as I plan it for this to work.
Hey, he has 0 accomplices, so it's his plan only, or does the droid know? Or
well, he kind of has like
she's in on it.
The entire Black Sun, not the entire, but like his.
They have to do what he says.
We really don't know yet. Let's be honest, we really don't know yet. But right now, it's him and her at like directly conspiring with each other, right?
Yeah.
So the emperor was capricious. He had been known to have whole cities destroyed because a local official defied him. He'd once had a wealthy and influential family banished from the core systems because one of the sons had plowed a ship into one of the emperor's favorite buildings, damaging it, and not incidentally killing the pilot responsible. If the emperor thought that his trusted right hand, Darth Vader, his own creation, was any kind of threat, even the Dark Lord of the Sith would not be immune to imperial anger. Yes, it was a good plan. A bit complicated, but all the possible sequels had been examined and considered and covered. In the end, he knew that he had found the perfect weapon with which to finally defeat Darth Vader, the death of Luke Skywalker. So he's like, you fucking killed my family? Well, I'm going to kill your fucking family.
Yeah.
So it just became a vendetta.
Yeah.
Not
Literally.
became, but it is.
Well, it is a vendetta.
It's a vendetta.
Well, an eye for an eye, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dang.
So, chapter 5 opens with Vader naked in his hyperbaric medical chamber.
Okay, so aside from your fucking
Bella, why are you
thirst,
blushing? Why are you blushing? Damn.
My burnt chicken nugget.
have some water. God damn.
Cool off.
I love this book. It's so good.
Okay,
riveting.
aside from your fucking creepiness against
Creepiness.
the Dark Lord of the Sith, have some respect.
I'm just in love.
Have some respect. Oh my god. Anyway, this is actually really, really fucking cool.
Yeah.
Because Vader is in his meditation chamber. Pretty much the only place he can be without his helmet on.
Yeah.
He's in his chamber, Death Stars and all.
Yeah. Yeah. And the laser.
the saber.
The super laser. Anyway. So he's sitting in there, and pretty much the whole time, anytime he's meditating, he's trying to heal himself.
Yeah.
So that he doesn't need to use the fucking suit. Because the suit, if you recall, is like a prison.
Yeah.
And it's very painful and uncomfortable for him to wear. Like it's not like wearing your fucking your juicy tracksuit. It's like,
No.
this shit is heavy.
No,
it's heavy. It's fucking painful. Like there's parts of it where it's like in him, I think.
Yeah.
Like it fucking sucks.
It's horrible.
And he can't breathe
Imagine
without
just
it.
the claustrophobia of
Oh,
that.
exactly. Just being
all
in a
day
suit
long.
all day.
Yeah.
Every day? No.
Yeah.
So anytime Vader's like meditating, that's what he's doing. Either having PTSD or thinking about his dead wife or thinking about how he hates himself, or he's meditating, trying to heal his lungs so that he can live without this fucking mask, right?
Yeah.
And so do you want to read it or can I explain it?
Let me read this
Okay,
because
go
it's
ahead,
really
go
good. So what you were saying about him healing his body. He believed that it was possible, that with sufficient meditation and training, he would someday be able to rebuild himself into the man he had once been. Physically, at least. He would never go back to what he had been mentally. Weak, foolish, idealistic, Anakin had been much like Luke Skywalker was now, mere potential. Yes, the Force was strong in Luke, perhaps even stronger than it had been in Anakin. But the boy needed to embrace the dark side, to learn where the real power was, to achieve his true promise. If he did not, the Emperor would destroy Luke. Vader did not want that. When they fought, he had also tried to strike the boy down, but that had merely been a test. Had he been able to kill Luke easily, Luke would not have been worth the effort to recruit. But although he had certainly attempted to defeat Luke, the boy had held his own. Despite Vader's superior skill, despite his experience, Luke had survived with no more damage than an easily repaired amputated hand. The meeting had made Vader feel, not a normal occurrence lately.
Damn.
There had been the thrill at meeting a worthy opponent, and pride that the one so strongly opposing him had been his own son. Vader smiled into the darkness surrounding him. Obi-Wan had not told Luke that Anakin Skywalker had become Darth Vader. Luke's anger at the man who had slain his teacher had been potent, had allowed the dark side to claim him. If Vader hadn't broken that anger with fear and confusion by telling the boy that he was his father, Luke could have defeated him. A Jedi does not fight in anger. He holds his emotions in check and allows the Force to move through him. But the dark side needed to be fed with strong emotion, and when it was, it repaid that sustenance tenfold. Luke had felt the power of the dark side. It was up to Vader to find him and allow him to feel it again. The dark side was addictive, more potent than any drug. When Luke accepted it, he would be more powerful than Vader, more powerful than the Emperor. Together, they could rule the galaxy.
Fuck.
This shit goes hard!
Fuck, dude.
It goes hard as fuck, bro.
He made Vader feel.
Yeah. Something he hasn't done lately.
He's like, what is that?
Yeah.
What is
He's
that?
like the Grinch.
Yeah.
Oh.
His heart grew 2 sizes that day. Literally. Okay, but that's fucking... Shut up.
All right, what?
It's crazy. Vader realizing the raw power and potential in Luke.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's the son of the chosen one.
Luke had such little training.
Yeah.
And he almost took out Vader, and he would have if he didn't get distracted. Like he says, the confusion and fear, or what was it? Confusion and fear had taken over his anger.
Yeah. Because you see it immediately. You see it.
Yeah.
As soon as he like.
Bah, bah, bah.
But it's crazy because Vader. Yes, the raw, untapped Force potential in Luke could have been even greater than Vader's in that moment if he just unleashed in a rage and just tapped into the dark side.
Yeah.
But Luke already had that like inkling of from Obi-Wan to not go there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm sure there was some resistance to it on Luke's end.
Yeah.
But Vader knows, if Vader felt that, and even if Vader knew, like obviously it's not as simple as Luke won or Luke could have won, right?
Yeah.
There would have been a fucking tremendously insane duel.
Yeah.
Way more than we got, right?
Yeah.
But who knows? Who knows? Luke could have won.
Could've.
Obviously not trained. He's not trained.
He probably would have died.
He probably would have died too, yeah.
But he would have.
Who knows? It would have been a fucking wild fight, right? If it was allowed to go on. But we have to remember Vader, again, is Anakin Skywalker.
Yes.
Who is a veteran of the Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and he, like, how old is he now? He's like in his 40s, 50s?
40.
40 something?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Bella,
doesn't matter.
Early 40s. He dies at like 42.
Yeah, anyway.
43.
Vader doesn't just have experience or like stronger in the Force, right? He tactically knows what move to make.
Yeah.
Like you are not going to outsmart
unbelievably beyond.
Nobody ever outsmarted Vader. Not a single person ever outsmarted or tactic. What is the fucking word?
Like on the battlefield?
On the battlefield or fucking mentally.
Yeah.
Like just on one-on-one.
Yeah.
Vader. Yeah. No one outdid him. He fucking died a champ.
Yeah.
You know
I call that a win.
You're like the only, like, there's no one. A win is a win.
Yeah.
There's nobody that like succeeded You know what I mean? In like killing, like Vader has had the most assassination attempts out of anybody.
It's like daily.
Out of fucking
like
anybody, fictional or non-fictional, out of anybody.
Canon, legends.
The most fucking death threats and fucking assassination attempts have been on Vader.
Yeah.
And no one ever fucking succeeded.
No.
Right? But that's specifically assassination attempts. But I'm saying that move from Vader to be like, now I'm telling him that he's my son or that I'm his father.
Yeah.
Because if I allow this to continue, it's going to get nasty. And either he's going to die or I'm going to die.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
He
Just
said,
that one moment.
He said, he said, how do I get my opponent off balance?
Exactly.
Mentally.
Because he doesn't have this training.
No.
He
Luke
might
does
have
not
the
the emotional bandwidth.
And not at that point. Not at that point in the story.
No.
And that's exactly why he gets fucking manhandled.
Yeah.
Right? Is because Vader does have that tact. He has that, like, he's able to, yes, the dark side is an untapped, like, fury of dark side energy, and that's how a Sith is at his strongest.
Yeah.
But the strongest Sith can also control that.
Like, they can turn off their emotions.
Yeah, if they want. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's like they have to have their rage and their anger at here.
Yeah.
But also be able to bring it here if they need to think straight.
Yeah.
That's what's fucking crazy. So anyway, let's continue because it gets chapter 5 is what gets really fucking wild.
So he pretty much Vader is like, I'm going to use Luke's hatred for me and hatred for killing Obi-Wan. I'm going to turn that into, like, I'm going to manipulate that, and that's going to be how I get Luke to turn. Mm-hmm. I'm going to make him focus on his rage, on how upset he is that he lost his friends, his family, his aunt and uncle.
Because he doesn't go, like, he specifically mentions Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father.
He brings up Obi-Wan to upset him.
Obi-Wan lied to you.
Yeah.
Not, I'm a horrible fucking person.
Yeah, he's gaslighting Luke. He's literally gaslighting Luke. He's like, Obi-Wan's a fucking liar.
Yeah. Why do you like him?
Why do you listen to that asshole?
He's not even cool. Like,
he's like fucking. He's ugly.
What an old geezer.
All right.
Well, he's dead. Why do you fucking care?
Yeah.
No, yeah. So that's what's crazy. Is like Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father.
He told me. He told me enough. He told me you killed him.
He said, "No, I am your father."
It's impossible.
Yeah, give or take. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know every line.
It's fine.
Close enough.
I judge you for it, but it's okay.
Whatever.
Damn, such love in this marriage.
Yeah, there's love, but get it right.
No. No.
That's not true. That's impossible.
Yeah.
Search your feelings. You know it should be true.
Oh, damn it.
And you were here like, we should watch the movie again.
Okay.
You know it line for line.
I'll watch it tonight. Fuck.
Anyways, so yeah, so Vader is just sitting in his bullshit. Okay, here we go. So this is back to like him trying to force heal himself, which is really interesting.
This part is crazy. Yeah.
Vader waved his hand over the motion-sensitive controls in his chamber. The spherical chamber opened, and the lid lifted with a hydraulic hiss and escape of pressurized air. He sat exposed to the surrounding room, unprotected by the super-medicated and oxygenated field inside the chamber. He concentrated on the injustice of his condition, on his hatred of Obi-Wan, who had made him so. With the anger and hatred, the dark side of the Force permeated Vader. For a moment, his ruined tissues altered. His scarred lungs and dead alveoli and constricted passages smoothed out and became whole. For a moment, he could breathe as normal beings breathed.
Oh, shit.
His sense of relief, his triumph, his joy at being able to do so drove the dark side from him as surely as a light chases away shadow. The dark side eagerly consumed anger, but it was poisoned by happiness. It left him, and when it
Ironic
did,
as fuck.
and when it did, he could breathe no longer. Vader waved his hand, and the half dome lowered and sealed him into the chamber once again. He had achieved it briefly, as he had done several times before. The trick was to maintain it. He must not allow himself to feel relief, but must somehow cling to his rage as he healed. It was difficult. He had not purged all of Anakin Skywalker, that blemished and frail man from whom he had been born. Until he did, he could never give himself over totally to the dark side. It was his greatest weakness, his most terrible flaw. A single spot of light amid the dark that he had been unable to eradicate over all the years, no matter how hard he tried. Vader sighed. He would have to try harder. He could not afford any weaknesses given his enemies, and more especially given his friends. Okay, this just fucked me up because I just realized something.
What?
Like, Vader obviously dies at the end of Return of the Jedi, but he has a few...
He dies?
Shut up. He has... he has a few moments with Luke.
Yeah.
Do you think that he, because he came back to the light, was able to hold on and like semi-heal himself enough to have a conversation with Luke? Because
at the end when
at
he's
the
like,
end, because he takes his helmet off. He takes his helmet off, and he has sustained the injuries from the lightning. It's not just that his helmet's off.
No, yeah.
He has internal damage.
Also, he's a fucking tank.
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest.
Yeah.
He's a freaking monster.
Yeah.
So, I think your theory definitely is possible.
Right? Because he says when he taps into the light side, he can kind of like...
But he has to be... What do you mean? Kind of be what?
He says like when he taps into that joy, into that little bit of light, his body starts to slowly heal.
No. That's... Okay. Let's not get confused about this. What is healing him is his dark side, is the dark side.
Oh, it is?
It's the anger. It's the hate. That's why. So at the beginning, that's where it's saying he's thinking about Obi-Wan. He's thinking about, he's thinking about his situation. His situation meaning I'm in this fucking suit. My lungs suck because I'm a smoker. And no, it's like he can't breathe without this shit. He can't, he needs to live in this.
Okay, so you're right. So the dark side heals him, but then he's happy. And then the dark side says, fuck you, you can't be happy. So he loses the connection to the dark and therefore cuts off the healing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That fucking sucks. That's crazy.
But what I thought of as soon as you were like, what if that's what happens in episode 5 when, in that moment where he's saying that Luke could have won? Because in the fight in the movie, we see Luke, that's the turning point. That's when Vader's like, okay, fuck you. When Luke hits him on the shoulder, right?
He gets mad.
He gets mad, and that's when he cuts his hand off, and he's like, sit down.
Yeah.
Right?
Cálmate.
He said, boy.
So what if at that moment, because in this book it's saying Vader felt pride and a sort of happiness
that his son was a worthy opponent.
The only worthy opponent he's come across is now it's his son. He's like, that's like, he felt pride.
That's my boy.
That's also a form of happiness.
Yes.
So if happiness is what makes him weak, that is why he let his guard down and got hit by Luke. And that is why Luke could have won, is because Vader felt happy. Well, pride that his son is
you're right. You're right.
That's fucking toxic as fuck.
So they both they both get each other off guard emotionally.
Yeah, because they're father and son.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who the fuck your dad is.
Yeah.
If he's an asshole, He's still your dad.
Yeah.
It's gonna get you emotional, even if you're like, I don't give a fuck about this fool.
He's still your dad.
He's still your dad.
Yeah. No, you're right.
That
because
dude, this
why
book,
Vader doesn't make mistakes.
Yeah. No.
And the only mistake he could make in that situation
is letting his guard down.
Is letting his guard down.
You're letting his guard down means he allowed himself to be happy, and the dark side left him. And as soon as he got hit, it came back, and he was like, "Fuck your hand."
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody makes mistakes.
Everybody has those days.
Everybody has those days.
Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Everyone cuts their hands.
Oh my god.
Son's hand off.
Oh my god.
I couldn't get through it. I'm sorry.
Vader, Anakin Skywalker is Darth Vader? Like Miley Cyrus is Hannah Montana?
Oh my god.
You nailed it.
You spoiled it for me, yeah.
You didn't know Hannah Montana was Miley Cyrus?
Oh my god. Okay.
I don't know, the idea just hit me like a wrecking ball.
I hate Silva. I actually hate
We're
him.
gonna lose listeners after this episode.
Okay.
I mean, because of all of us.
Moving along. They do get confirmation from Dash Rendar that Boba's ship is on Gaul.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're like, when can we leave? And they're like, now. And then they're like, all right. And Leia says, I'll get off a coded call to the rogues. Luke nodded. They were going to get Han. So now Jabba is talking to Shizor.
Ooh.
So yeah, Jabba is introduced into the story.
They're talking business.
Oh, and by the way, I didn't fucking know Jabba could speak basic.
Me neither.
Meaning English.
Yeah.
Because Jabba comes...
He's a basic ass bitch.
Yeah, so, so Jabba comes to Shizor for a meeting and starts going like, uta tuta, you know?
Yeah.
And then Shizor's like, fucking speaking basic.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right.
He goes, as you wish.
Like, all right.
Yeah. Which speaks to Shizor's power.
Yeah.
Because nobody...
tells Jabba what to do.
Exactly. So they're just getting caught up, talking business, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then he's asking about Boba Fett.
Shizor?
Yeah, he's asking about Solo, about Boba Fett.
Because they're connected to Luke.
Yeah.
And now he's trying to kill Luke.
And he's like, a minor smuggler. He's had his uses in the past, but he joined the Alliance and does owe me money. So Jabba's like, it's just business. Like, he's just one of the thousands of bounty hunters that work for me.
You can't let these hoes owe you money. Just keep fucking...
Yeah.
Bitch, better have my money.
Literally.
Imagine a pimp smack by fucking Jabba.
Ew, it'd be all like slimy.
It'd be with this... Yeah, gross.
So Shizor's like, wasn't the Solo part of a rebel force that attacked the Death Star? He says, yes, Highness. He and his friends were instrumental in its destruction. The Wookiee Chewbacca, Princess Leia Organa, and a young unknown player by the name of Skywalker all were involved in the debacle. So then Shizor's like, here we go. This is what I was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And Jabba says he was on Tatooine until recently, but his X-Wing took off a short time ago. So
this part I think is really cool. So this is before Return of the Jedi. So this is before we technically see Jabba in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Right? So I think it's really fucking cool that Jabba had eyes on them.
Yeah.
This whole fucking time.
Yeah.
So Jabba knew that they were on Tatooine. He's like, yeah, they just left.
Yeah.
Like, what? That's
he
cool.
knows everything that's going
everything.
on Tatooine.
These fucking syndicates know everything.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying to just not tell you guys everything.
No, yeah. But pretty much, Shizor is just trying to be like, okay, so what do you know about these fools? Do you know about the Skywalker
But he's also
fool?
trying not to bring too much attention.
No.
Yeah, show his hand that he's looking for Skywalker. He's just trying to be like, oh yeah, did they blow up the Death Star? But
what does he ask Jabba for? Like, what does he ask him to do at the end?
Put out the information that those seeking to claim the reward for Skywalker would be advised to locate the bounty hunter Boba Fett. Sooner or later, Skywalker will likely do so, and appropriate plans can be made for that instance. So pretty much wherever Boba and Han are, Luke is going.
So now there is a
bounty?
Not just a bounty on Han Solo, which is probably the biggest bounty that Jabba has out.
Yeah.
Now they're telling all of the other people that are looking for that bounty and for the bounty on Luke Skywalker. So not just the bounty for Han Solo, but now the bounty for Luke Skywalker. He's saying, if you want Luke, go find Boba Fett.
And you will find
And
Luke.
you will find Luke.
Yeah.
And all the other bounty hunters know that Boba Fett, if he has Luke, then, well, he also has Han Solo.
And they're willing to kill him and take the bounty,
Exactly.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
So bounties all around. So that...
You get a bounty. You get a bounty.
Yeah.
Everybody gets a bounty.
Literally. So that ends, and this is the last passage from chapter 5. The squad, Leia, Chewie, Luke, Lando, and 3PO and R2 are all on the Falcon. And this is like not really a major part of the story, but it's just funny. Lando makes dinner. Lando makes dinner, and it's disgusting. Like
it smells disgusting.
It smells disgusting. It looks disgusting. And Leia's thinking to herself that it looks like a cross between melted boot plastic and fertilizer with a sprinkle of pond scum over it. And right after she thinks that, Luke says that word for word out loud.
Well, when Lando comes out with the... So she's thinking that it smells like that while Lando is cooking it.
Yeah.
And then they go about, like, they're still, like... I think Chewie and 3PO are playing holo chess, and they're like bickering like usual. Yeah. And then R2 is Luke and Leia are cleaning R2 up, like they're doing it together. Yeah. But Leia in her head thinks that about what the food smells like.
Yeah.
And then they go about their business, and then finally Lando a little bit after comes out with the food, and he's like, "Dinner served," and then Luke finally like smells it. And then he said, like Bella said, he says that exact thing,
like word for word.
Like word for word.
They're twin telepathy.
Yeah,
they're twin telepathy, but
and Leia just
they're
laughs.
Unaware to it or whatever. Yeah, they just laugh, and then Lando's like, "Okay, maybe I'll just open a couple of packets of beans for dinner."
Because he tries it, and then he's like, "Oh, it does suck."
Yeah, he's like, "I can't eat that." And then it says there were worse places she could be than with her friends. Leia decided a lot worse places.
Yeah.
And that's the end of chapter 5.
Yeah, the end of chapter 5.
Wasn't that so good?
I feel like I just watched like 2 seasons of Star Wars.
Right?
Dude.
It's like fast paced, but not like too fast.
No.
But it's like
it gives
there's
everything.
no really slow points, and I really like how we're getting so many different perspectives, especially Vader.
And that's barely book 1. How many books is it on?
Well, the Shadows of the Empire is its own thing. It's just
but
book.
how many in the collection?
It's just one book.
Oh, it's just one book. I thought it was just like a...
No, it was a multimedia project. So there's a book, there's a game, there's comics, right?
Yeah, there's comics.
And the game follows that book?
It's the same.
It's the same story, but
different
it's
perspective. Because in the game you follow Dash Rendar's perspective. What
system it came out of?
N64.
This book came out in 96.
Yeah. The game came out in 96. Yeah.
Did they remaster? Like, can you play it on any?
I think
PC probably, obviously. So duh.
I have it. I got the special edition one from Limited Run Games, but it's N64 cartridge. I think you can get it on PC.
Yeah.
Get it on PC. It's fun because
it is that perspective, that timeline kind of.
It's Dash Rendar's perspective, but this story.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's really good.
That's crazy.
Dude,
the game is really fun.
This was just the first 5 chapters. I can't imagine the last 5 chapters. Right? Like the conclusion is going to be so good. And I'm assuming it's going to end.
Yeah.
Does it end right before 6 or not necessarily?
I don't want to. Let's not.
spoil
I'm just gonna go like
the flow.
I've
This
never
is the
read
first
this.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I loved it. It feels so good to have like a solid Star Wars story to be excited about.
Okay,
and
can we be real?
enjoy.
Can we be real? Can we be real, guys?
Can we?
All right. This, and I guess I don't want to sound like a dick. Please don't misunderstand me. But let's be very real in the fact that this is the original Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like, this is what Star Wars is at its core.
Yeah.
This was Star Wars untouched by any other company, any outside influence.
Yeah.
This is 100% Lucasfilm, the writers from Lucasfilm. You know what I mean? Like the people that were like that knew the story and had direct fucking
the OGs. Yeah.
Like the OG, but like also they had direct.
It was overseen by George.
A direct line to George Lucas.
Yeah.
Right. This is a direct line to George Lucas. Let me be very clear. I'm not saying this as a jab. I'm saying this as this is the original timeline.
Yeah.
This is the original, and like you're gonna hear a lot of people be like, and if you're one of those people, I'm sorry to tell you this, but you're wrong. But you're gonna hear a lot of people saying like, the EU was never canon or some bullshit like that.
Yeah.
It's bullshit. It's 100% bullshit. I fucking lived it.
The idea
like
of
so many
canon-
other people as well lived it.
Yeah.
Right? There were never titles of canon or non-canon.
That didn't exist.
It didn't exist with Star Wars. It didn't. It simply did not. There were, every time there was a new book like Shadows of the Empire or something like Dark Empire or Heir to the Empire, right? I guess it's all Empire, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Any of those stories or anything that came out in the EU, like a novel or a comic book, it was always promoted as the next installment in the Star Wars saga.
What would be the point of releasing stuff that wasn't?
Exactly. Like,
check out this new book that didn't happen.
Exactly.
You wouldn't read it. You'd say, well, it didn't happen. Why would I read that?
Exactly.
And that's how a lot of people see it now, but that was never how it was.
No, it never was. It really never was. And I feel like it's a weapon that a lot of people that just want to fucking hate use.
They don't want to listen to anything you have to say. They just want to shut you down with it was never canon.
Like it's people that are trying to elevate the canon timeline by shitting on the EU,
which you don't need to do.
You don't need to do. And it goes both ways. Like, I'm not going to shit on the sequels or on canon just to be like, this is better. Like, I prefer this. Yeah. But I also enjoy canon. Yeah. I do. I've gotten over it with you guys all the time. Like I'm always getting the comics, all the new fucking books. And it's fun and it's exciting because it's new Star Wars stories. Yeah. But let's just be very real with the fact that this is the original timeline of events. Yeah. Right? And like I said at the beginning, right before we dove into this, there's 2 timelines. It's the Legends timeline and the canon timeline. Yeah. You can either enjoy both or one or the other. Yeah. Right? And that's up to you, right? Like you get to pick what Star Wars stories you digest and enjoy and whatever. Like, no one gets to tell you. Yeah.
There's 40 plus years of storytelling.
There is.
There's so much content that it'll literally take a lifetime if you want to get through all of it.
Guys,
so
enjoy
it.
Star Wars is modern mythology. We have to remember that. And there are going to be so many different stories that you can dive into, that you can learn from, that you can obsess over. And these stupid fucking labels of canon and non-canon, they don't matter because guess what? It's all Star Wars. Yeah. It's all Star Wars.
And it just divides the fandom at this point. I really don't see...
Exactly.
Like...
Yeah. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. But I'm very happy to be diving back into these stories that I grew up with.
Yeah.
I think I've definitely been missing this in my life.
Yeah.
Like, to be 100% dead ass. Like, you know, it's weird because you don't think of like just these books or these comics as like you fucking need that in your life, right? But you do, because it's like they fucking raised you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So but either way, I mean, everyone has a different relationship with these stories and these comics and these books and all that, but I'm very happy, I'm very excited, I'm glad that you're finally getting to enjoy this story. And I'm glad that we're getting to do this with all of them, because
that's the best part.
That read was so sick. For me, I was like, damn, all I need is like a bed and I'm getting tucked in and read a badass story right now. I was like, oh,
yeah. No, but yeah, guys, if you did not get a chance to read these first 5 chapters, definitely I would recommend do so anyway. I know you're probably a week behind.
Watch episode 5.
But if you want to watch episode 5, I recommend it. But read the 5 chapters, because there's still a lot that we didn't mention, a lot that we didn't cover everything. We didn't cover everything.
And Steve tells it much better than we do. I recommend reading the actual story.
Ours is the abridged or unabridged?
Abridged.
Abridged. It's the
shortened
abridged version, the shortened version. The
Words.
abridged version.
The Bridgerton version.
Anyway, it's the Arakel and Bella abridged version.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very well written.
Yeah.
The development in the story, the characters, like it's so natural.
Yeah.
And it feels like you're watching a movie.
It does.
It really does. Like
it
just
does.
And I think it's how well he nailed their dynamic.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you can't fake that. You can't be like, this is what Luke and Leia are like together. You know what I mean? Like, no.
It doesn't even seem forced.
No, exactly. You know? So, it really does feel like you're watching a movie when you're reading this book. And I'm excited to continue reading.
Yeah, me too.
Because
it's only gonna get better.
It's only gonna get better. But yeah, guys, fuck. It was good. We hope you enjoyed it. So like I said, if you do want to dive into those first 5 chapters, if you did miss reading them, I would go ahead and do so, because they're really, really good.
Yeah.
They're really very good. They're very, really good.
It's good, yeah.
It's good, yeah. And so this next week, so after this episode, we're going to be reading the next 5 chapters. So 5 to 10.
Yes.
Or sorry, 6 to 10.
Yes.
Because we read chapter 5. So chapters 6 through 10 this week, everybody.
That's your homework.
If you are keeping up, that's your homework. Read chapters 6 through 10, and also join the Discord.
Yeah.
Please join the Discord. We already made a section there for the book club. We also added a section for the podcast.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to fucking talk to us on there about the podcast or the book club, please go ahead and do so. We really want to hear you guys' feedback. We want to know what you think. We want to know what you think about the book. Let's talk about these first 5 chapters, because there's a lot to talk about. Like I said, there's a lot we didn't mention. I want to know what you guys think about what's going on with Vader. What, you know, like everything we just talked about with Vader, I think is very, very interesting for his character. Mm-hmm. And like it brings us such a different perspective of these moments that we see in episode 5, which is episode 5, I would say, is the majority of Star Wars fans' favorite movie.
Yeah.
At least OT movie.
For
right?
sure. Yeah.
So it's very impressive.
Yeah.
Most impressive to see like how these small tidbits of these moments change so much watching Empire.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy.
It was really good. I'm loving it so far. I can't wait I want to read it right now. I want to read the next chapter.
Me too. But yeah, guys. All right. I think we unfortunately are out of time. We we're probably gonna have to go through our breakdowns a little quicker next time.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are unfortunately out of time. But we're so glad that you guys can make it this week. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
We appreciate you guys. We're glad you're here, and we hope you're excited to keep diving into this book because it's a truly incredible story. We can't wait to keep going. But yeah, if there's anything you'd like to send us, please, like I said, go ahead on to our Discord, join the Discord. Let's talk about the book. Let's talk about the podcast, all that fun stuff on there. But if you want to send us anything, any topics or any videos that you'd like us to watch on the show, please go ahead and do so. Email them to punchitchewiepodcast@gmail.com. And please go ahead and rate, review, subscribe if you enjoy the show. It really helps us a lot with reaching other potential listeners that might enjoy the show.
Yeah.
And please go ahead and tell your friends as well. Tell your friends about our show. Tell your friends that we're doing the book club, because like I said, there's a lot of people that I know most people don't have a problem with the EU. It's just like, well, I don't know where to start.
Yeah.
Unfamiliarized.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're not unfamiliar with it. And it is a very daunting task to dive into the EU because there's so much. But at least this way, there's a support system.
We all don't know what's going on.
We all don't know. And we can all talk about it and have fun together.
Yeah.
Read the story.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We love you. Thank you so much. And we will see you next week. Bye.